the Markkula Center for Applied Ethics and the Silicon Valley National Association of Corporate Directors presents
This is the last in a three-part series about corporate directors with Bob Finocchio, Chairman of the Board of Trustees at Santa Clara University. Bob, in addition to the presentations at board meetings, what should directors do to really learn the facts?
Certainly what you hear in the board meeting is an important source of data, but there are other places board members need to go to get information. I think to do the job as a director, you have to understand the business model of the company. And that means, you need to understand the filings, read the filings, the Ks, the Qs, look at the research on the company, follow the press, meet with other people in the company and learn about the business.
Bob, in addition to the presentation at the board meetings, what should directors do to learn what's really going on at the company?
I think it's critically important for the board to triangulate, to gather data from multiple sources. In the boardroom, I always think it's incredibly valuable to listen to people who are not the CEO and not the CFO. I always find it's a great way for the board to meet the company, to get the feel of the company, the culture of the company. Instead of just having the CFO pitch, have the controller pitch or have a divisional controller's pitch. Instead of the CEO talking about the forecast, have the head of sales come in now and then and talk about what's going on out there in the field. Watch the body language, watch the eye contact as people at different levels tell a story about what's going on.
So, as has been often said, the director should have his nose in but his fingers out?
The director has to be very careful in these engagements because you're not the boss. You're a representative of the owners. So your job is not to sit there and dictate, to make policy. Your job is to sit there and listen and learn and try to be helpful. But it's data gathering, it's not management of the company.
If I recall, you had an experience as a director where the board was just being spoon-fed by the CEO and CFO without presentations from other members of management?
Sure. I personally was involved in one where I took over a company where there were significant accounting problems. And I looked back at board agendas, and almost all presentations to the board had come from the CEO and the CFO with the general counsel sitting off to the side. And they had very little, if any, exposure to anybody else in the company. So consequently, that board wasn't able to triangulate, and they had a somewhat misguided view of what was going on. And I learned from that experience as a director and an executive, just the importance of having lots of people in the room. I'm an advocate at a board meeting to having the whole staff there, the whole management staff, other than in the executive session, and let them participate. You get to get calibrated with them. Again, watch their body language, watch their eyes. If the eyes roll when the CEO is saying something, you're learning something.
So in addition to being attentive in the boardroom, what else should a director do?
I think it's good to wander around a little bit as a director. And I'm not saying you ought to just be there every day and get in any way, shape, or form involved in the business process. But, I like when I, meet executives in a company, I like to have lunch in the cafeteria and just stand in line, paying for my salad. See what's going on, what the mood is like. When you're waiting in the lobby, just watch people, wander around the office a little bit. That's where you get more of a feel of the place.
Thank you, Bob.
You're welcome.